All right, welcome in, guys. All right. Welcome in. Welcome, welcome. Happy Friday. Welcome in. Where is everybody? Good morning, guys. Kelvin, Kirk, welcome in. Max, Carolina. Welcome in, everybody. Are there any, my image is too big? Yeah, I'll make it smaller in a second. I'll make it smaller. Yes, it's too big again. Are there any winners? Okay, so from last giveaway that we had, are there any winners in the chat this morning? From the last big giveaway that we had. Are you guys here? Anybody in here? Anybody here from the last time we did a giveaway that won? Who's here? You guys are all saying, oh, there we are. I see a few of them. Love Family Heritage. Xavier, I think, was one as well. Carolina, yep. Well, we're doing another giveaway today. Ernan, welcome in, Ernan. Welcome in, Michael. Michael, thank you, man. Much appreciated, Michael. Thank you for that. Good morning, guys. Well, we have more than just a giveaway today, guys. So we have a lot to go over this morning on the chart side. Okay. Some major things happening in this pre-market session. It looks a little dangerous this morning, to be honest with you. Yesterday's session was one of those sessions that I think were, it was silently difficult. I mean, we were prepared for it and we knew it was going to happen before. I mean, we kind of spoke about what was going to happen before it happened. But even so, it still was quite a difficult session. There was only a few names yesterday that were holding. Remember I said like Wednesday was easy money. We should never say easy, but Wednesday, if you were prepared and you traded and you had the right sort of ideas pre-market, it was quite easy to trade. Okay, but Thursday session was, in my opinion, it could be a detrimental day to traders. And the reason why was because it was one of those days that didn't really provide much value besides uniquely just a few tickers, like AMD particularly was one of them, right? So we're going to talk about that today, about what's going on the SPY, right? I mean, SPY dangerous yesterday, just insanely dangerous. And today, this morning, it is still dangerous. So we are going to talk about this today. This is an interesting chart that we're seeing in front of us right now. And we are going to go over everything that we have to go over today here on the SPY chart, right? Fancy, where's Fancy? Where's Fancy? Fancy, you haven't been here I haven't seen you here in a day or two. So welcome in, Fancy. Welcome back. Test Focused, thank you very much. Much appreciated, Fancy. Test Focused, you guys are awesome. Thank you, guys. So yeah, it was a tricky session yesterday. I mean, even for myself, I made quite a bit on AMD, but I actually lost some money on SPY, a little bit of money. And the thing is, my levels were actually quite nice. Like you saw some reaction off the golden level yesterday, that 631.5. But again, it was a little bit of a slow, grindy day, right? And just not really good price action yesterday's session. Unless you were short off the open, if you were short the open, right, that's awesome. And that was good. You get the whole downside move. But if you started longing back into demand yesterday, it was a little bit slippery, right? So we'll go over that today in SPY and ES. We'll talk about the Qs chart as well. Qs chart, whim wham under 560 and rip into close. We are going to discuss what's going on here on the Qs chart. It's a very similar formation in Qs, ES, and SPY, all the same formation here. We're going to talk about AMD, what we traded on Thursday's session. Thursday session, beautiful AMD. This is what made me. This is what kept me in the green yesterday, right? The beautiful hold above 168 was what kept me in the green. A beautiful break and retest of 168 for upside, and just ultimately a really nice trade on our Thursday session. I mean, the contracts ended up going, I think, well over 100% yesterday on AMD, and I'm sure you guys probably caught some of that AMD trade. We'll go over Apple today as well. Apple still in the valid pullback long formation, right? Apple still has not technically tested our big demand zone below, so we're going to talk about that Apple chart. We'll go over Amazon. We'll go over Tesla. We'll go over, Nvidia, of course. We'll go over the whole lot this morning. Yes, Rav is going to be on for live trading, but he's not here today. He's handling some other things today this morning. So, guys, let's jump into it. Let's talk about earnings reports, econ data. Then we'll go into our giveaway. Then we'll go into charts. So, today. Earnings reports is, obviously, there's nothing really happening today, right, in terms of earnings. You can see that we had, maybe a few ones yesterday. We had TGD yesterday. You had PINS, PINS yesterday as well. This morning, pre-market, you have Fubo. You have Tempus, Canopy Growth. This used to be a big one, right? People used to go crazy over CGC, but unfortunately just has not been one that people have been watching recently. So that's what we have going on in the pre-market. In terms of econ data today's session, also nothing crazy, right? Yesterday was our big session. Yesterday we had a whole bunch of sort of fireworks all day. Today we have nothing to watch out for, nothing to worry about, so we can move on from this. What I want to do is I want to discuss next week. So I want to spend a second, maybe a minute or two into next week, because this is the most important part about today's session. Express, thank you, Express, man. You are awesome as well. Thank you, Express. Express is always putting in work in the chat as well. So much appreciated, Express. You are awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, so Market Watch econ calendar for next week. You can see the big one, right? The sort of elephant in the room is our CPI next week. So we have core CPI, we have CPI year over year, month over month, right? That's on Tuesday, August 12th. So expect a lot of volatility, right? Now, it's always interesting to see that, usually there's no gap between CPI and PPI, but there's a gap. I don't know why there's a gap between CPI and PPI, but there is. So core CPI, obviously on Tuesday, August 12th, that's going to be the centerpiece of our next week's session. Wednesday session, we have Bostic speaking, which of course is going to be a little bit of a volatile session. And then Thursday session is going to be, we have core PPI, the producer price index. So basically inflation for consumers on Tuesday, inflation for producers on Thursday. So market is going to be watching this going into our next week's session, right? That being said, today's Friday. Let's go over our Friday session. And before we do that, giveaway. For the giveaway, I want you guys to do something very simple. In the chat, for the next 20 minutes here that we have on the pre-market with us, I want you guys to comment the word, let's do this. Comment the word whim wham, okay? WHIM space W, just do wham, WHAM. Any WHAM is fine. Just do that, WHAM, do WHAM. You can do whim wham too, doesn't matter. If you comment it, I'm going to control F. I'm going to copy everybody who said wham in the chat. I'll put it on a Google Sheet this weekend on Saturday or Sunday, and we're going to do the giveaway on Monday morning. That's what we're going to do. So just type the word wham. It could be now. It could be 9 o'clock. Do it just one time, though. Obviously, we're going to do a filter to reduce repeat offenders. but just do it once and then you should be good to go. Okay, so that's a giveaway. We will reconvene the giveaway on Monday where we actually announce the winners. Okay, so just be prepared for that on our Monday session, right? Today, SPY. Today is Friday, August 8th. We need to talk about some things going on in the market. And what I'm going to do first is we are going to lock in right now. And what does that mean? That means we're going to make my face smaller because I don't need to be this big anymore. So my face is much smaller. The charts are much bigger. Let's dive into it. So, SPY chart. SPY yesterday, we basically did this, right? This is where we opened up into yesterday. We opened up into some supply yesterday, and we knew this, right? What did we say pre-market yesterday? We said you should expect to see some sort of pullback. I said watch the 635, but that's not my big level. My golden level is 631.50, okay? And so if you came to the pre-market yesterday, you should not be surprised by the market doing this. This price action yesterday, should not have caught you off guard. You should not have been wondering, oh my God, what just happened, right? If you came to the pre-market yesterday at 8:43 in the morning, we said the same thing almost at the exact same time. We said, prepare for this to happen, okay? This meant this happened in the market. There were some shorts. If you caught shorts under 635, that happened back into demand lows here, 631.50. But the real plays yesterday, right, was not on SPY until we pulled back to this demand yesterday around the 631.5, the golden zone. The golden zone we pulled into, right? And this was where I was expecting market to begin to reverse. And if you review yesterday's price action on the intraday time frame, like let's just say the 2-minute time frame, and review sort of what happened into our intraday session, you can see that we did indeed pull back to our demand below, right? We see a pullback to our demand below. You can see a beautiful pullback to our demand zone below 631.50. We see holds there, we see holds there, we see holds there, we see holds there, and then finally a break and retest under 631.5, which resulted in downside into the close. So interesting session, right? Because you saw some opening bell downside plays work, which was obviously the move on SPY yesterday. We pulled back to the demand. We pent up a lot of buyer interest here at 631.50, but then sold us off into close. And obviously into close, we reclaimed it. So what do you call this yesterday? Yesterday, this is a flush and reclaim of 631.50, right? Now today's session, if I'm looking for anything this morning, my main pivot again is going to be the golden zone from yesterday, right? It's going to be 631.5. The same thing we said yesterday as the most important level is the most important level today. It's 631.50. Now on the intraday, it's 631.5, right? Because if we are above that level, we're bullish. If we're below that level, we're bearish, right? And I'd be looking for this to happen today. If we can pull back to 631.5, I see us hold up there. We can look for longs off that level. But here's the issue right now. The issue right now on the 1 hour time frame is I see this. I see big downside and I see a serious consolidation. Now, when does a bear flag turn into simply just a consolidation that's no longer a bear flag, right? This is the problem, right? You have a stock that goes down, right? A full flagpole goes down. You have a consolidation, right? And the consolidation obviously consolidates us higher, but it's still a bear flag. But when does that bear flag sort of invalidate, right? When do we begin to invalidate the bear flag? In my opinion, on SPY, I have a hard time calling this a bear flag because if I see that the consolidation, right, the consolidation on the S&P has taken up more than 50% of that flagpole. So that would be, this is the 50% mark of the flagpole, right? So if the downside move is this, right? This is the flagpole. Let's just sort of understand that. The flagpole is between 641 and 619 on SPY. The midpoint of that area is somewhere around 631.50, ballpark 631.50. Therefore, if we are above that level, we are basically invalidating the bear flag, right? And we're not really, even though this is a consolidation, it looks like a bear flag, we're not really in a bear flag. So my mindset this morning is if we are above this, again, the golden level, we are bullish, right? And if we are below that level, oh shit, bear flag, bearish downside move. This is the most simple way to assess today's open, right? If we are above 631.50, we are above the 50% mark of that downward move, the flagpole move. We are also above our golden level, the golden level, the golden level. And we are likely moving higher back into 635 and 639. But if we are below this level, we must reserve the right to say, you know what, we are back in bear flag territory. We go back into 627, 628, and back into 625. That's why I think today's session is going to be particularly difficult, because to be honest with you, we just have no sentiment gauge here. I don't know what's going to happen in between 631.50 and 635. I just don't know what's going to happen here. Is this going to be a consolidation dead zone? Or are we going to see a breakout above 635 and upside back into 638 and potentially beyond that? Or do we see us fail below 631.5 and downside move back into 627, 628, back into 625, and possibly even back down to 619? This is really what I'm expecting today. It's going to be either a break and hold above the 635 for upside back into highs, or downside breakdowns under the demand below 631.5, the golden zone, reconfirming the bear flag, and we see the downward move. Today's session is an interesting Friday open. We must be prepared for today with the idea that both scenarios could play out, right? We just don't know what it's going to be. Be very careful today here in SPY, okay? That's what I'm going to say here on the SPY chart. On the ES chart, it's the same thing. You have, again, a beautiful bear flag, right? But we sort of have invalidated the bear flag after maintaining above the golden zone. The golden zone here on the ES chart is this level right in front of us. It's simply right here. You can zoom in for a second. You can see the 50% mark of that bear flag is 63.56. It also is our level, our level, our level, our level, our level. If we are above this level, the sentiment gauge is hot and we are bullish. If we are below that level, the sentiment gauge is cold and we are bearish. There's a lot of different levels here on SPY, but let's just make it very simple, right? Let's just make it very, very simple here right now. I'm going to do this for a second just so we can really understand it. We are really just, this is really the big level. These are really the big levels on SPY, or ES rather, okay? If we lose 63.56, the next level is 6,300. Really, that's where we're going to. There's nothing really there's small levels here and there. You see like 63.33, right? Some small levels, but it's not a level I'm trading off of, okay? Because if we break under this 6,355, we go down lower into these lows here. That's where it is, right? There should be maybe some small little pockets of demand stepping up here, but the general idea is we move back down into this demand zone below. Okay, so be careful of that today. Under 63.55, downward pressure under 6,300. Above this level, which we are right now, pre-market, and a reclaim of 6,400 ES. Then upside back into highs here, back into 64.58. So I think a very clear pivot, if you want to trade this buy today, is watch to see if we can get back above that 64 level. Okay, 64 as a very important pocket for us to reclaim, because if we do reclaim the 64 today, that could be what gives us the confirmation and upside cues for the move higher back into 64.30. Okay, again, this or this. That's what I'm looking for today's session here in ES. And on SPY, it's very similar. It's either this, or this, right? Or where's my draw tool? Or this. That's what I'm looking for today here on the SPY and ES chart. Very, very simple charts. On the Qs, here on the QQQ, you can see the levels to watch out for on Qs. It is pretty clear, okay? We said no changes have been made here since our Thursday session. Thursday morning, we said there is supply above us 572, which we are opening up right into. The next demand is 566. Look at what happened yesterday on the Qs. We simply just pulled back to our demand zone below. Big pullback to demand zone below. And there was an obvious discrepancy between Qs and SPY yesterday. Qs were much stronger than SPY. Qs maintained. So I think you should spend some time focusing today here on the Qs to see if we can get back above this 572. If we can get back above 572, that, in my opinion, is where upside can sort of proceed back into 576. If we lose 566, which is our pivot today, then we go down lower into 560 and possibly even much lower. So again, your pivot today on Qs is 566. It is our previous day low, our PDL. Okay, so our previous day low here, 566. That's the big sort of watch that I have here in Qs. If we can get back above this, this 572, then I think we get some upside in the market back in highs. So look to see if 572 reclaims. If that happens, upside. As of right now, we are opening right back into the same supply we opened back into on our Thursday morning. Right, nothing's changed here in Qs. Nothing's changed. We're opening right back into supply here, the same level we discussed yesterday. Okay. Wow. Soul Free TV. Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much. Soul Free TV. Everyone say thank you, Soul Free. That's awesome. Much appreciated, Soul Free. That is really, really, that is Absolutely awesome of you. Thank you very much. That is very kind. Awesome. Cool. So, again, Q's 572, very big level. Okay. Moving on. AMD. So, AMD. This is my big level. This is my big level at AMD today. Okay. So yesterday it was all about 168, right? You saw. What did we do yesterday? We said yesterday we had a beautiful failure under 162. Right, we saw 162 failed on our Wednesday session, break under 162, reclaim 162. And we said on our pre-market session on Thursday that AMD has just trapped a lot of shorts, right? AMD, this is what the chart looked like before we traded it, okay? AMD trapped a lot of shorts under 162. Now, today's session, or really into Thursday session rather, from Wednesday into Thursday session, because we trapped a whole bunch of shorts under 162, this was going to give us a very beautiful cannonball trade, back into highs 180 if we did reclaim that 168 low. Because we knew very quickly off the open, before the market even opened, we said, you know what? If we were short here at 162, a lot of these shorts that were short are going to be very under the water, especially if we reclaim this level right here. And this is where they're going to have all their stops sitting. Stop sitting, okay? And so for that reason, the best possible long entry yesterday on our Thursday session was the reclaiming move above this 168. And that is what resulted in the cannonball move higher. Now, if you're reviewing today AMD and you're wondering where can we trade AMD this morning, well, look at yesterday's price action. So yesterday's price action was indeed a cannonball, but I don't really want to be trading AMD today after a squeezy upside move on Thursday. The reason why is because most of this upside that happened Thursday session was simply just because of squeeze. That's what it was. If you review what Q's did on its Wednesday session after the squeeze, so you can see Wednesday session into Tuesday into Wednesday, right? Why did this market move higher like this Tuesday into Wednesday? Well, very similar to AMD, it trapped all of these shorts under 560, causing squeeze on Wednesday. So this Wednesday session was your squeeze day, your S day, right? What happened on Thursday, the day after your S day? The day after your squeeze day, we saw a downward pressure day, consolidation day, okay? Now, I'm not saying AMD is bearish, but I am saying AMD, expect there to be some choppiness after your S day, okay? Your big squeeze day on Thursday. This is not, these sessions like AMD on Thursday session, it's not filled with real buyers. It's mostly just shorts getting squeezed. So let this stock play out and pull back, right? If you're looking for pullback longs, look for pullback longs between this area over here at 168 to 167, and that's really it, right? Expect a pullback today here in AMD. I'm looking for this to happen. If we pull back there, that's my long spot. If it does this today, I don't care. I don't want to be involved in it. That's not where I'm trading it. I'm trading it only back in demand here, 168, 167 for longs. That's my big level today, this morning. Wow, fancy. Wow. That is awesome, Fancy. Thank you very much. That is very kind of you. You guys are absolutely incredible. Fancy with the $100 donation. Holy Moses. That is crazy. Thank you very much, Fancy. You are always a big supporter. That is insanely kind of you. What a move. Thank you very much. You guys are absolutely incredible. Yes, we're going to do a big giveaway on Monday. It's going to be a nice giveaway session on Monday morning. That is awesome. Thank you guys very much for supporting. You guys are always incredible. That's the thing about traders is we have a really good community here, and it's rare. I'm surprised that we don't have trolls in here this morning. No trolls here. All the trolls are gone. I think they realize that we don't mess around with them. So, yeah, you guys are awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, AMD. So AMD 168 pullback. Be prepared for it. Okay, Nvidia yesterday. What did we say about Nvidia yesterday? We said 180 pullback long. What did this do? I mean, yes, the 180 happened, right? We pulled back to 180. There was some support here, 180, but it wasn't really that sexy, right? The reason why is because Nvidia isn't squeezing anybody out. Nobody's short Nvidia right now, right? People are short AMD, right? People are short AMD. That's why AMD moved with the explosive move here. Nvidia was not a chart that was shorted. Why? Because it never broke any levels. For a stock to be shorted a level of support has to be broken, right? A big level of support has to be broken. Once it breaks, it reclaims, whim wham, right? That's the definition of what a whim wham is, right? That's what's happening across the board that's really what happened from Wednesday and Thursday session, was a lot of these sort of consolidated breakdowns under support, reclaims, and squeeze. Nvidia never broke any levels. So Nvidia is not going to squeeze. But if you are watching for Nvidia today, it has to be this. It has to be some sort of break and hold above 184, 184, 184, and that's where we could see real buying pressure come in the market and upside happen, right? It's not going to squeeze, but you could look for an upside trade here above 184. Likewise, if you see 180 hold today as well, you can look for longs off 180. If 180 breaks, the PDL, right, 179, this is going to fade back lower to 176. Nvidia is bullish as long as we are above this low right here. We are bullish as long as we are above Thursday's lows. So look for longs above 184, look for longs at 180. That's what I'm watching today's session here on Nvidia, okay? But again, be careful on chips today. I want to see what happens on chips today. Chips were beautiful yesterday. Today, they may not be so pretty. So let's see what happens, okay? SMH, I mean, can you get much more clean than this? I mean, look at this. Upside break above 293, big upside, reversal, downside, right back into demand here, 288. The question is, has this chart invalidated the head and shoulders? Has the head and shoulders invalidated yet here on SMH? The answer is no, it hasn't, right? SMH is still holding levels, but it has not invalidated the levels yet. It has not invalidated the upside supply to say this is no longer a head and shoulders. This has to happen for that to occur here. If we can break and hold above 293, that's where upside comes in, and back into 296 is most likely, in which case we invalidate the head and shoulders and we move higher, okay? If we lose 288 today here in SMH, we go back lower into 283, right? Very simple levels here on SMH, okay? Moving on, guys, Apple. So Apple, this is a chart that's still valid today. This is a pullback long that's still valid. It is 215, okay? So we have a big consolidated support zone here, 215, 215, 215, 215. If we can pull back to 215 today, look for pullback longs here, 215 for upside. That's what I'm watching today. A little 215 pullback long. If we can pull back there, that's where I'm looking to set up some long opportunities today here on Apple's chart, okay? Pretty simple chart. Moving on, Amazon. Amazon maintaining the gap level, right? This is the most important thing to watch here in Amazon is, are we maintaining above these lows, right? And you can see the series of lows produced here, series of lows, series of lows. As long as Amazon is maintaining above 220, there is a strong thesis. This begins to etch away at the gap fill levels. You guys know we spoke about this on Wednesday's session, right? As long as 220 is holding, there is a strong belief that this does this, right? A little bit of a grinder back into that 231 area. So keep an eye on Amazon, right? 220 maintains, upside. If we lose 220, then we're going back down to 218 and back down to 216. But as of right now, these levels are still maintaining. Oh, wow, Joshua, wow. You guys are incredible. Also a $100 donation from Joshua. That is insane. You guys are absolutely insane. Joshua, thank you very much, Joshua. Wow. Incredible. You guys are always supporting. That is very kind of you guys. So definitely we'll do something big on Monday. We're going to do something big on Monday. Welcome guys. Welcome to the Inderlux's Getaways. Thank you very much as well. I'm going to do something with the lives now. What's it called? The YouTube live members. But we'll do something special for you guys. Thank you guys very much. Very kind of everyone. So moving on. Amazon, obviously 220 maintaining. As long as Amazon's above 220, upside back in highs. Where does it give us entries? In my opinion, the only entry point is to 220. If it holds there and you see a setup hold there, look for longs. Maybe above 226 now. If you see 226 reclaim, you could look for longs above 226. Again, it's not the most beautiful trades here, but I would keep that on the back burner, okay? Above 226, above our Thursday's highs for longs back into 230, okay? That is the Amazon chart. Moving on. Tesla, like I said, what did we say about Tesla yesterday? We said Tesla, be careful, okay? There is support here at 318.50, but the level to be careful of now is the fact that we are just back in that sort of wedge. If we are back in the wedge, we are back in the problem, okay? We have problems right now here on Tesla. Tesla's stuck in the wedge. If it can break under 312, right, downside in the market, back into what am I doing here? Under 312, downside back into 300, right? Or above that 330 and upside back into 338, right? So this is what I'm looking for today. Really, I really don't want to be involved in Tesla in between the wedge between 330 and 318.50, okay? Even 312. I mean, obviously, like look at the 318.50 hold yesterday. You saw it, 318.50 maintaining, but it was so choppy, okay? So for me, I don't want to get involved here, right? I would rather be trading like yesterday, AMD, right? AMD explosive move, right? Over a very key level. This was just not an easy trade. This was a really nice trade yesterday session from live, right? But today on Tesla, I just look at this chart and I have no idea what to do here. And for that reason, I would wait for either the upper bound to break 330 or the lower bound to break here 312. In between that zone, I have very little sort of understanding of what's going to happen here. Yes, Swiss Gear. Absolutely. Thank you as well for supporting. You guys are crazy. Thank you very much. PLTR. So on the PLTR chart, I mean, it's still just grinding higher. At some point, though, it's going to surprise you. It's going to pull back, right? There have been moments where you just look at the chart and you look at like this, or you see, wow, this is never going to pull back. This is just insane. It's never going to pull back, right? It's never going to pull back. Then all of a sudden, when you think it's never going to pull back, is exactly when it pulls back. And I think that's what's happening here in PLTR again, right? Look, it's still bullish. Let's not misconstrue this. As long as this is above that 161, this is a bull chart, okay? If this is above 161, this is a bull chart. Let's not misconstrue. Above 161, bull chart, okay? Eventually, though, you're going to see this happen. In probably one trading day, you're going to see, maybe 2 trading days, you see a pullback to 161. Just like insane multi-red day session into 161. Bam, bam, that's it. Okay, so this is what I'm expecting here in PLTR. Be prepared for it. Don't go longing your cute little 181 and think it's just going to hold there, right? This has to pull back at some point to 161. That, in my opinion, is still a bull trade. And that's where you're looking for longs here in PLTR. If you're short PLTR right now, your long opportunity is right there. It's 161. It's staring at you in the face. It's staring at you in the face with a neon colored shirt, okay? 161, 161. That's what it is. Look for 161 pullbacks, okay? Moving on. Brandel, wow. Brandel, thank you very much, Brandel. You guys are absolutely incredible. Thank you guys for supporting. I feel like this is a TV show this morning. Thank you very much, guys. Moving on. So let's move on. I want to do a few more. I want to go crackhead speed. We're going to go crackhead speed for a second. I want to go over a few things. Meta. So on the Meta chart, 1 hour time frame, you can see here, what are we looking at right now in Meta? We are looking at a supply rejection, okay? We have supply coming in here at 784, supply 784, supply 784, okay? You do have some demand stepping up here at 761. There is demand here at 761, but there's clear supply here at 784. In my opinion, right, you have demand here and supply there. I don't know what to do here. I will not trade this, right? This is not a clear chart for me. I can trade Amazon, I could trade Apple, I could trade AMD, but I look at Meta and I have very little clarity here. I will tell you this though. If we are above this 761 pivot here, we are still bullish, right? So if you're looking for longs today at Meta, it's got to be something like this, right? That's what you're doing here in Meta. Looking for longs off 761 with a stop under 760 perhaps, right? And a move back into 784. But again, this is still supply, so be careful holding longs back into that 784 supply zone, right? Google. I know you guys don't like Google, but take a look at it, right? Take a look at the Google chart for a second. Look at this 198 level. You can see 198, 198, 198. Very big pivot here in Google. As long as Google is above 198, it's maintaining levels and likely setting us up for a breakout trade. Watch Google today. This could perhaps be your top watch this morning today on the market is Google 198, right? Guys, that's where we're going to call it. Thank you all for joining in. It's 9:06. It's August 8th. It's Friday. Transparently, right? Take it easy. Take it easy because I am, right? I'm taking it easy today. I'm sizing down today. I'm sizing way down today. I think today is going to be a dangerous session, unfortunately, right? It's been a crazy week with lots of ups and downs. Let's size down and go into the weekend with the proper mindset. If you're green this week, size down, right? Don't give it all up on a Friday 0 UTE position. Size down and enjoy your Friday session. I'll see you guys all for live trading. Bye, guys.